This is one of the biggest things that I've used over the past 6 years doing remote work that has helped me overcome so many mountainous size, overwhelming tasks. And it's actually easier than just pushing forward in the work in brute force. So here's the mental reframe. When you're overwhelmed and the tasks are piling up and it looks like a mountain in front of you, what happens is you start getting super overwhelmed and your productivity basically goes down to zero. Stop. It's the easiest thing you can do. Just stop. Stop doing it. Altogether, everything. The biggest reframe is accept it. Be like, okay, I'm not being productive. And then from that point, I'll talk about state shift in just a little bit, but from that point, basically do something that's slightly different than what you're currently doing. Maybe if you're just like looking at a computer for 5 hours straight, like go for a walk or eat a bite of ice cream or something, just that like throws you off a little bit. Accept that you're not getting anything done. Realize that one is better than zero. And then from there, begin again. Start from scratch. Say, okay, how can I put the lowest possible effort into this big giant task that I have to accomplish and do? And just go at it low energy. And what happens is as you get into it, you've already reframed the task from this crazy headache inducing thing to, like, I can do this one little sub part of it pretty quickly, and then that starts building momentum. And that will help accomplish the task so much better than just trying to brute force through it. So over the many years, one of the biggest things I've dealt with working remote is just sometimes, some days, there are tasks that pile up. I have brain fog, I don't have the mental clarity, maybe I'm not eating good or I'm not working out or whatever that ends up being, and I am looking at this giant pile of tasks and I can't do anything. I'm just watching YouTube, I'm just scrolling on social media, and I can't get basically anything done. And so I can't remember exactly when it was, but it was a few years ago that I was just staring at my screen and I was almost trying to like will this task into existence, but I wasn't, my hands weren't moving, nothing was moving. I was just like trying to like use the force. And then I just stopped and I was like, yeah, I'm not being productive. Like at this very moment, okay, I'm not being productive. Like, why am I fighting this? It was just a really weird, like, I can will this into existence. And I was like, this is so far removed from actually doing the work and being productive that it was just so weird to just stop and be like, oh, okay, like I'm not doing anything right now. That's fine. So then I had just stopped. I think I took a walk or I just like scrolled on social media for a minute and just kind of like give my body a chance to cool down, because typically the head starts hurting and start getting a bad headache. And I was just like, okay, like if I'm getting nothing done for the rest of the day, let's say like from this point on, I'm getting nothing done for the rest of the day. Well, that doesn't sound fun. Like, you know, I'd like to be productive. I'd like to do something. So it's like, oh, okay, what could I do? Out of all of this, what could I do? Low effort, lowest possible effort on the main thing that I need to work on. What is it? And then I would just do one thing and you get a little micro achievement, something that reinforces the behavior that you're enacting. And it's like, oh, okay, that wasn't too terribly hard. And it does make progress on the big thing that I found daunting. And it was fairly easy because it was super low effort. What else is low effort? And then you start building up these building blocks of momentum. When I went through that, it was like, not a revelation, but it was like, whoa. It's not that I somehow magically was able to get this task done by some mental way of thinking. It was, I had to just stop, accept my limitations, accept the limitations of what was happening around me. Maybe I needed to take a nap. Maybe I needed a sip of water. Maybe I needed to change my environment. Whatever that was, it was just like, okay, like, why is it so bad that I'm not getting anything done when my neurochemistry, my thought process, everything was just fighting against getting anything done or being productive in any way. So I was like, okay, like accepting that was so huge for me. And then it was from there, okay, how can I have a little bit of a state shift? I know I talked about that earlier, but basically if you're just in a certain way of thinking, or even if you're sometimes in a certain environment, and you just keep going and going and going and going in a certain direction, you're just so used to the brain pattern that happens of, okay, when I think this way, oh, boom, boom. Okay, crap, it's gonna give me a headache now because I can't get it done. I don't know how to do this. Whatever. Maybe, whatever it ends up being. Giving your mind a state shift, throwing something radically at it, like one of my personal favorites is going to jump in a pool. Even if it's cold outside, I mean, you will start thinking differently immediately. Another one is I like sparkling water. I've always loved sparkling water. And so it's just like, you know, take a few quick gulps of a sparkling water and you're just like, whoa, you're in a completely different headspace. And that headspace allows you and your thought patterns to start thinking differently. And then from that point, you've accepted what's not working, what's going wrong. You've shifted your mental state. And now the easiest thing to do is actually to go at the task with the lowest amount of effort and just go at it in a very easy way. And that will just build that momentum and it'll get the task done so much faster. You will not feel like you're doing anything wrong because anything that you're doing, one, is just better than zero. If you were at the point in your day where you were just gonna get nothing done, literally anything that you do past this point is actually being productive. And that reframe, that mental shift is so helpful, I've found. So those are my core findings. One of the things that I tried a couple weeks ago was actually cutting out all music from my workflow, not listening to any music, no headphones in, no nothing, sitting in complete silence with a little bit of brown noise from the road beside me, but basically nothing. And the results were very impactful. So I'll link that video down below in the description if you want to go check that out. I just hope this helped and have a great day. Thank you.